Okie doke, this will serve as our intermediate iMovie video. This is kind of the screen I left off with last time. And basically I just showed you how to import a clip and drop a clip onto our timeline, which serves as our actual movie. Again, the timeline is here. For those of you that kind of skip to the intermediate video because we know how to import clips, this is something that is, again, pretty simple to learn, but in case you didn't watch the first video or you forgot, I did want to kind of rehash the fact that all of our clips that we've imported will show up in our iMovie library, and you can organize these clips, and I would highly suggest doing so if by chance this is something that you plan on using in the future. But for now, I just have a population of all the clips that I have imported from various different functions, and at that point, if I want to add something, I'm going to click and drag the length of time or the clip that I would like to drag or import, and then I'm going to drag it down to its specific location. If I want to move it over, I can do that to the end, whatever it is. There are shortcuts available, but this is intermediate, so dragging and dropping I think are pretty easy. But here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about clip adjustments real quick. If you do not have the setting defaulted as showing waveforms, I would suggest doing that because as you can see, when there is speaking or spoken word or any sort of audio, you'll be able to tell by simply visually looking at the waveform. There's dead spots in there, sure, but when Ms. Koch is talking here, you can actually see those waveforms. If I unclick that, you'll see that goes away. When I edit a movie or an iMovie, I think it's very valuable to know when people are speaking, just for the specific fact that you need to know how loud they are, how soft they are, if there's any overlapping voices, especially if we're going to add audio to this at a later time. So go ahead and click Settings, go ahead and click Show Waveforms, and at that point you can click off of Settings. And I want to show you how to trim a clip. Once you have those waveforms, you can do a few things. If I click on the clip and then hover to where I get the trim or extend clip function, I can actually start moving this back, and you'll see up in my window here that it will actually come along with me, and basically I can take this clip forward or back. So it's going to pull from my selection here forward or backwards. I now have an alternate function to extend that I didn't have at the beginning. I had gone all the way to the end of the clip, and you'll see here in a second that once I get to the end of the clip, well, actually it'll keep on going until the end of the actual clip, which is pulling again from the iMovie library. But at the end, if I don't have any more film to roll from, I'm just going to have a left-facing arrow. But again, I can trim or extend it as needed by simply clicking and dragging after I hover and find the arrows. The other thing that you can do is adjust the audio volume pretty easily by simply raising this up or down. Sometimes it skips. You notice it goes from 100% to 158 or 112 and 79. It's very difficult to get right where you want it. And so there are a couple ways that you can change the audio, one of which is simply up here, and then you get the same function with a little more precision. The other way to simply do this is to zoom in on your timeline by pressing Command plus. And now I'm going to get very close to the actual timeline, and now you'll notice that my percentages are more precise. Maybe not as precise as up here, but they at least work a little bit better. Now when I play these clips, let's say I click on here and press spacebar.
You will need that you have this jagged line across the top.
I have audio. A general rule of thumb is that if by chance your audio starts displaying as yellow or red, it's probably, regardless of the sound you hear coming from your device, it's probably going to be something that overwhelms the audience in final production view. So, although it's not happening right now because of the way that it was filmed, if these waveforms start showing yellow or red, start kind of watching out and making sure we're not blasting people out of the water with the audio. Okay, now that you know that, I'm going to zoom back out on my timeline. I'm going to click in the timeline here and press Command minus, and you'll notice that now I can see all of my clips in one form. There are other commands, Command Z, I believe, shifts that, or Command 1 rather, shifts that to 100% view. I think you can press Command 2. Okay, my actually that didn't work. My commands are faulty. That just changed the view up here. In either case, let's move on to transitions. If you come up and click above the library here, you'll find a list of pre-loaded transitions. And some of them are kind of goofy, some of them are good, and basically they use a stock image to kind of show you what this looks like. And if you just track your mouse over the top, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So if you want to wipe, if you want a doorway, if you want a fade to black, which is kind of classy, if you want a cross blur, whatever it is, it's very simple to actually get these in your movie. You click them and you drag them to a transition. The transitions are the lines in between here, but you'll notice that you can also click and drag over the top of something and it'll automatically place it where it needs to go. So if I come back to the very beginning, I now see with the sideways, the bow tie looking item that I have a transition here, and I simply press spacebar, and even though it's subtle, I can see that I have a cross blur or a cross dissolve taking place on both of those transitions. Pretty cool. Next, let's talk about title screens, and there's a lot of different ways we can do this, but if you click titles up top, again, there are preloaded title screens, and if you want to see what they look like, again, drag your mouse across from left to right and see what this looks like. So let's say I love the way this kind of fades in. I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag it, and I can do one of two things here. I can make it a standalone with black, or I can place it on top of a clip. The standalone with black is kind of nice. It again shows up as black, but if I place it over the top of a clip, I will get a text function up in my window where I can type the name of the actual video. Let's say it's test video intermediate. And at that point, once I click enter, you'll have functionality and you'll see here that it looks pretty good. Now the problem is it's white and the background is white, so if I double click, I can go and change the functions of this particular title however I see fit. And again, those tools are located right above the play window. So now at this point, I'm going to go let this play, and I'm not saying, by the way, that I would choose blue for my actual video, but I'm going to go to the beginning. I'm going to click my playhead back to the beginning.
Like reading. Who doesn't enjoy a good book?
And notice now that everything that we've put in practice works. Okay, I probably should have done this before. So now you know how to import media, you know how to drag media down, you know how to basically edit or edit at a basic level clips, not only for the capacity of trimming, but for audio, and we know how to add transitions. Now you really need to make a choice on what kind of project you want. There are a few things, and I told you in the first video I might come back to this, and I want to do that. If I click plus and I follow a trailer, I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like. These are kind of cool, and for some of our more beginning members, this might be a good way to complete the assignment for the day. If I click the trailer, you can see that we have a lot of different types of trailers that are preloaded into iMovie. One's friendships, one's holiday, one's family, whatever it is. So let's say I want this Jurassic Park looking blockbuster. It might fit what I'm trying to do. I'm going to play this for you and let you watch. So a lot of this stuff will be preloaded. High def films, you can maybe change the title of, but you can change the title of In Their Homeland, and then your clips will populate in the actual template. In addition, I think what's cool is that the audio is preloaded so that you don't ever have to mess with the audio function. It ends up being a pretty cool thing. So I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to go and work with one that I have already created, or, well, I'm going to cancel that out. One that I've already kind of preset, and we'll call it Finish Line. And if I double click in my project view, it'll take me back into the project. Again, this should look pretty familiar. You've got your window here. You've got your iMovie library over here. But down below is the template itself. And so it's going to tell me exactly what clips I need. It's going to say I need basically a character, Rick, with 2 clips, a character, Matt, with 2 clips. I need an action shot. I need more action shots. And then I need landscape shot, which would be, you know, like kind of nature or whatever it is. I need a 2 shot, which basically with 2 people, okay? So now that I know what to do, I can specifically go out and get these shots, and then once I find those shots that I want, I just click and drag them in. Notice that it will preload, if I click this, it'll preload the exact type that I want, okay? I need a 1-second shot here, so it's only going to give me a 1-second window. Do you see the bracket that comes up? So maybe it's the 1 second here, and then I simply click it, and it will populate with that 1 or 2 second shot. Now, this is not going to look good because I am screaming through this, but here's what's kind of cool. If and when I get all of those shots, and if those happen to be the shots that I want, I can change the storyboard. I can do all those things. And on the storyboard, if I click high def films, I could say, you know, Revell Films, Once Upon a Time, there was an amazing PD session. And then I follow this whole thing. Well, here's what's kind of cool. When I go to the outline, or excuse me, when I click the actual trailer to play it, and I come back to the beginning, you'll notice that all of the things, well, hang on, let me go back to the very beginning. It would help if I knew how to go back to the very beginning, I guess. In any case, when I go back to the beginning, all of those things that I would populate come right back, which is kind of a cool deal. I will show you the video here in a second. I'm going to pause it and figure it out, and then I'll come back on. Okay, figured it out. If I go back to the storyboard and then click the first item there, it will come back up my playhead, or excuse me, my play window, and I'll be able to watch it. And as you can see, it kind of really highlights the things that you want it to in short clip fashion. And it also tracks exactly the storyboard that we've created. It's an easy way to start with iMovie. And I know that I waited a while to do this because I want you guys to have an opportunity to maybe make your own. But at the same token, if we're really thinking that it might work better to do something like this, I think it would be obviously appropriate to do this as well. Okay, this was the intermediate piece. We've learned quite a bit. I'm going to make an advanced piece a little bit later, and hopefully that will help as well.